Welcome to episode 253 of RV Miles. I'm Jason.
And I'm Abby, and we are two full-time travelers who, along with our three boys, have been crisscrossing North America on one epic road trip for over 6 years. Here at RV Miles, we talk all things RV and outdoors, from industry news, travel destinations, national parks, and who knows what else.
This fall, LL Bean wants to help you get outfitted for all that's out there with gear, tips, and advice for heading outdoors and exploring all the possibilities of the season. Here's one of our favorite camping hacks. You can make your own fire starters by rubbing cotton balls in petroleum jelly, then storing them in old medication bottles or a mint tin. These compact starters fit in a pocket and light up quickly for easy campfires on cool fall nights. For more fun ideas, easy how-tos, and inspiring stories, visit llbean.com/guide. We're excited to have Ammar from Romney on the show this week. Romney is an insurance company that was sort of born out of Outdoorsy, which is the peer-to-peer RV rental program. We talked to Jeff Cavins from Outdoorsy many episodes ago. And when we talked to him, he was talking about how one of the key problems they needed to solve to create Outdoorsy in order to provide this peer-to-peer network for people to rent their RVs out was a good insurance option that would pay quickly. And now Romney's available to anyone, and with some really good options out there that I think you might want to consider for RVers. And Aaron also shares just some general tips about insurance for RVs as well. So I hope you're excited to check out that interview. We want to talk here at the beginning of the show, though, about a campground that we talked about a lot on last week's episode, but we didn't want to tell you the name of because we were still there. But now when this episode comes out, here's the secret. We're actually recording these back to back.
I just changed my shirt, so this is literally 5 minutes
and
after.
I did not. Because I'm out of town this week, we couldn't record, so we recorded these back to back. Regardless, we want to tell you about the Mountain View Campground in Heber City, Utah, just outside of Park City, and some bit about the area here as well.
But before we do that, I feel like I feel a need to kind of explain a little bit as to why we have not been sharing in real time, because that can seem, I think, a little standoffish. And I don't want, I want to be more like upfront so that we don't seem so like hoity-toity about the whole thing. So why don't you explain it?
Great. I'll go ahead.
I served you. I served it up to you.
If you see us at a campground and you recognize us and you want to talk to us, we are so thrilled
100%.
and happy to meet you.
100%.
And do that. If we say we're in an area and you want to send us a message saying, I'm in that area, would you be interested in meeting up? Well, I can't guarantee you we're going to do it, but we're happy to talk to you about it. And I think everybody understands it's just a personal safety issue. We just don't want to say where we're going to be often before we go there. Y'all know we're at the Balloon Fiesta this week because we said that, but
and it's work. We're going there. It's a little bit more of a work event. One of the main reasons is, we also just try to respect our kids' privacy. And then we do often, as of lately, we have been traveling with friends and we want to respect their privacy as well. We talked a little bit about this at RVE, and we know that not everybody was at the RV Entrepreneur, but one of the things I talked about during a session on caravanning is how we try to be very, very mindful of the people that we travel with, that we spend time with, that we go to see at campgrounds, our family, our friends. And we try to be very mindful of the difference between what we do for a living, the lines between personal and professional can really blur. And I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about that in my fresh tank in a little bit, but those lines can really, really blur. And it's never fair and it's never right to ask others, our friends and our family, if they don't want to or they are not in this business themselves, to be a part of our business, to be, to share that responsibility of being a part of RV Miles. And so we'd often, because we are with other people, we want to respect their privacy as well. And so we will often share after we leave where we've been so that you can come and enjoy it too, or stay away from it if it ended up not being such a good experience. So I felt like
that's another reason. That's another reason we can't talk smack about a place while we're at it.
We wait till after we leave,
So,
unless they take a package from us and then the gloves come off. But I just felt like before, I just wanted to say that I was feeling a little
sure.
nervous about that.
With all that said, the place we are at that we're not at when you're listening or watching this, but we are currently at as we're recording this, is called Mountain Valley RV Resort in Heber City, Utah, which is sort of near Park City and maybe like an hour outside of Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the nicest RV resorts we have ever stayed at. Now, it is
nice.
very decidedly an RV resort.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like to be 10 feet from your neighbors, you're not going to like a place like this. But like we said on last week's episode, some of the nicest grass we've ever been to.
So lush.
Every single site is very nice paved concrete that is not
well
crumbling.
maintained.
The roads are all blacktop that clearly gets redone every year.
Mm-hmm.
The campground itself has a sort of main area, and then they have a 21 and older area. So if you're somebody that doesn't have kids and you want to be over there, you can do that.
You get 50 amp over there.
Yeah, that's if there is one complaint, it's that the main area only has 30 amp.
Can be rough in the
amp.
summer.
There are multiple pools, multiple hot tubs,
multiple dog parks, a huge playground. We have hardly seen our kids.
good Wi-Fi, a big fire pit,
Multiple fire pits.
so you can sit around and actually keep your propane fire pits.
A clubhouse for the kids, a hangout spot inside for the kids. In fact, that's where all of our kids and their friends have been while we've been recording this. And it was kind of rainy outside. They've been playing games in the kid clubhouse, which is seriously anyone right now listening, building a campground, build a section in your clubhouse that's for kids only.
Yeah.
It is so cool, and they feel so special, and what a great place for them to be able to go and hang out and not be, in that main clubhouse space. It's been a highlight. That's been one of my favorite things about this campground.
Yeah, it's just all around a great place. The staff is extremely nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned last week, awesome showers, lots of clean bathhouses.
You can get packages
all over the place. You can get packages there. It's just an all around good RV resort type place with some good views of the mountains and sometimes hot air balloons going by, all that sort of stuff.
It's a good home base for jumping off to so much that is to do in this area. One of those things being Sundance. And so a friend of mine, we went over there and had just an outing, the two of us. On Sunday, we had brunch, and I highly recommend brunch at the Foundry Grill. And it was spectacular. Let's just say all gluten-free, all dairy, out the window, because their dessert bar was, oh my goodness, it was fantastic. There's that. We happened to show up there too on a day when I would have expected it to be a little bit more busy than what it was, and it wasn't. It was very calm. It was very chill. We were able to walk the grounds. We did brunch, as I mentioned. We were there for like 2.5 hours. We sat by this roaring fireplace.
2.5 hours? You were at brunch for
Brunch.
2.5 hours. You were at Sundance for a lot longer than 2.5 hours.
Because it's just so gorgeous. I mean, they have an art studio where they employ like on staff, like blacksmith and silversmith, and you can make soap, and there's a pottery class you can take. I mean, there's so much to do. Obviously, they also do theater up there, and then the Sundance Film Festival. And it's just, there's shopping to be had. But the absolute highlight if you are going not during ski season, but if you go up there like we were here in the summer, is you can buy, it's $25, a lift ticket, and that is going to take you all the way up to the very, very top. It takes about 45 minutes. You have to switch 3 different times. You get all the way to the top of the mountain. And when you get up there, there is this little barbecue joint that you can order drinks. You can get beer, wine, sodas, water, whatever. You can get some food. There's picnic tables, and it is the most spectacular view, uninterrupted, just pure nature. It is so gorgeous. We got 2 beers. We sat at the picnic table. We had the best time. And then you take that beautiful 45-minute ride back down, back into the heart of Sundance. You continue to walk around, maybe get some coffee. It ended up being, because we had gone back and forth on whether or not we wanted to go into Park City, get some sushi, do a little shopping, or if we wanted to go to Sundance. And someone kind of encouraged us to do Sundance. And I am so glad that we did. I mean, it's not at all what I thought it was going to be. And I think you know what I mean, but we're going to just leave it at that. Don't you dare.
How do you leave people hanging like that?
No, we're not
Okay.
telling.
All right.
No, we're not telling people
Okay.
what I thought Sundance was and now what I know Sundance is. Okay.
You'll just have to guess, and I'm sure you will in the comments, and I'll just answer you.
No,
So we have really
Quiet.
enjoyed this area, and it's been just sort of when we were here last time in Salt Lake City last time,
hmm
we made a day trip up to Park City. So this sort of area up in the mountains outside of Salt Lake City is just a wonderful, wonderful area,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we definitely want to
There
come back.
so much hiking.
Lots of
So
boondocking to be had around
lots
here
of
too.
boondocking,
Yeah.
lots of camping to be had, so much hiking. There's several state parks around here. I mean, for an outdoor enthusiast who also really likes a good food and drink scene and, wants to have access to also maybe some more urban type activities, but really wants to get in some good hiking, ATV, boy, this is the place. This is the place. And I had said to you, I would 100% come back here and do a month
Yeah.
stay because you really do need that kind of time. We talked about how we went up to Mirror Lake last week and we did an evening picnic up there. Absolutely go up there. Take that drive. It is so spectacular. And then once you get to Mirror Lake, there's a 1.5 mile trail that actually goes very easy. Anyone can do it. Take your kiddos, goes around the lake. Gorgeous. Like such a peaceful, especially if you go on the evening hike. It's just I wish we had more time. We haven't said this in a while, but I wish we had more
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Well, you leaving for a few days put a
Yeah.
damper in it. And just seeing friends that we haven't seen in a long time, we just kind of have let the kids hang
Yeah.
out with them at the
And we've just
campground
spent time
and
with
done
them.
a lot of
It's
it. And it's a nice campground to
yeah.
just hang out at. So,
There's something to be
yeah.
said for that evening hot tub time.
Yeah.
Okay? There's something to be said for that. And plus, like you said, we're with our friends. They're our top priority. We just want to spend time with them. So all of this will be here and we can come back and see it at another time.
All right. Let's take a break and shift gears. And we're going to talk to Aaron from Romney about insurance for RVs. We'll be right back.
Be right back.
Chances are you've seen them on the road. That's because Blue Ox designs and manufactures the best towing products in the industry. Just look around, you'll find them on highways and campgrounds and anywhere you find people traveling in the great outdoors. Award-winning tow bars, base plates, and brakes, a full line of weight distributing hitches, adjustable ball mounts, and a new line of fifth wheel hitches. With Blue Ox, towing doesn't have to be a drag. To learn more about how Blue Ox can make your travel adventures even more stress-free, visit blueox.com.
My guest today is Aaron Ammar from Romney, which is a new insurance company that calls itself the most affordable annual insurance offering for RVs, camper vans, travel trailers. And they're the first new RV-focused auto insurance that's been launched in recent years. And they say they can save you a lot of money, 25% cheaper or so than other insurance policy offerings out there. And they're made specifically for RV owners. Aaron, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jason. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we had Jeff Cavins on the show I don't know, about a year ago now or so, to talk about Outdoorsy, and you are Romney is Outdoorsy's sort of sister company, and he was talking about how one of the key pieces that Outdoorsy was trying to figure out in order to make the whole RV rental thing, the peer-to-peer thing work, was the insurance piece of it, because insurance companies often have issues with you using an RV commercially, and they wanted to have something that allowed customers to be paid quickly and easily if there was an issue, because renting out your RV is a scary thing for a lot of people to do. So now you're a full-blown insurance company that anybody can be a part of, right?
That's correct. That's exactly right. Yeah, we actually so Outdoorsy is a sister company of Romley as a whole, and we're really building out a full suite of products across the board. So Romley provides the rental period insurance for Outdoorsy, but we also have another full suite of products that we've got built out. We've got personal lines RV insurance, commercial lines RV insurance, and we are continually adding to the mix. There is a trip protection, interior damage, and then we'll continue to add on from here as well too. So insurance is a fundamental part of the Outdoorsy operation, but I would just say Outdoorsy is a client. It's not the client. And we provide all of these different products to the rest of the entire kind of RV universe as well too.
Second question here. Romley is an insurance company that's specifically for RVers. What makes you different than going to somebody like Progressive or Geico?
Yeah, so I would say first and foremost, the RV insurance products here are really built by RV owners as a whole too. We've been living in this space as a whole, very intimately familiar with it. A lot of the folks are ex-Outdoorsy folks, but also a lot of the folks really understand this RV space as a whole. So I'll tell you, a lot of it starts with understanding. Two, as a part of it, a lot of the current RV insurance policies that exist out there do not allow you to actually monetize the rig. So there's what's called the commercial use exclusion within the insurance policy as a whole too. That effectively says if you want to go out and rent your vehicle, we don't necessarily want to cover you. So what we've done is we went out and we created our own product that effectively removes the commercial use exclusion and allows you to rent the rig out and monetize the RV on platforms like Outdoorsy, similar to how somebody may buy a rental home and be able to rent that out. You may need specific insurance. Same thing kind of goes for the RV insurance as well too. So that I would say is number two. And then number three too, a big differentiator is also the price. So we'll have different utilization credits. If you rent the vehicle out on a platform, you might, for X amount of time, you'll get Y amount of a discount. So we have that up to 25% based on the amount of times that your rig is actually being rented as well too. So there's a variety of different functions. We also try to make it really tech friendly as a whole too. So people can call in and talk with a sales agent, or they can also buy an RV insurance policy online in a few simple clicks as well too. So really try to be kind of that tech forward RV insurance provider. Romley, we would say, is that first RV focused insurtech in the world, where it's really it's that blend of insurance and technology to really be able to deliver it in a very seamless fashion.
So something like 90% of RV owners have travel trailers or fifth wheels, and I hear from a lot of people that say or think that your trailer is covered by the insurance company that covers your truck or your tow vehicle while you're driving down the road, which, from what I understand, is true. But does that mean you don't need to get insurance on a trailer?
So I'll start off first with every insurance company in terms of how they treat the trailers is a little bit different. So I'll start with that as a baseline. Generally speaking, though, the liability of the actual trailer follows the tow vehicle itself. So that aspect oftentimes can be covered on that basis there. The second part, though, is the physical damage isn't always necessarily covered by the tow vehicle on that basis there, too. So it's almost kind of twofold. I look at it and break it up in terms of liability and then physical damage. So that's why we do sell a lot of physical damage RV insurance travel trailer policies there, too. So people do want to make sure that the rig's actual physical damage is protected on that basis, too. And so it's kind of a double whammy from that front, is that they do want to make sure they're protected. Some companies will also offer a liability with that as well too, if the limits on that tow vehicle are not enough as well. So we do sell a lot of travel trailer policies. Oftentimes they're physical damage only on that basis, because the liability does follow the tow vehicle that is pulling it as well too.
I also hear people say often that you should have the same insurance company covering your trailer that covers your truck, because if there's some sort of conflict of who's going to pay for what, that's really not as much of an issue. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so it's an interesting one, right? It gets that kind of fundamental age old, should you bundle your homeowners with your auto, with your RV insurance policy? And while there's definitely a benefit to bundling, at the same time, what we're finding a lot of times nowadays, even myself included, I might have a different auto carrier versus a homeowner's carrier versus something else on that basis. So we really don't necessarily have to kind of bundle in terms of that, because a lot of folks are coming to us right now just buying RV insurance, trailer, and motorhome policies in and of itself. And so it's one where they're looking for that appropriate coverage. They're looking for that appropriate price. And whenever we can provide that to them, whether or not they need to go with another insurance carrier that they have kind of their vehicle with or their home with, it doesn't necessarily have to happen all the time. So we're seeing really some big trends right now where people are buying it from a variety of different carriers based on the coverage and price that they're able to actually obtain to.
What about folks that are full-time or most time in their RV? I know a lot of insurance policies don't cover full-time RVing. Some companies don't. Some companies don't in certain states. And then some companies have full-time RV insurance that covers some extra things. Like it might cover some of the stuff in your RV. It might cover if you have somebody over at your campsite and they break their leg or something. So where does Romney fit into that? Do you allow for full-time RVers?
Yes, we do. So that was actually one of the big things they had, is that if I kind of take a step all the way back to the beginning of Outdoorsy and Jeff that you'd spoke with about a year ago, is that Jeff and Jen actually lived in the RV for a number of months. And we've had many other people at the company also live full time in their RVs as a whole too. So really believe that the RV space as a whole, if you don't have a full-timer solution, you're already kind of missing a big part of the pie. And so we did want to make sure that we do have a full-timer solution. So it is the people that are on the road and really kind of making a lifestyle of this, that we are able to provide the appropriate coverage for them. So right off the bat, yes, we do provide the full-timers coverage to folks that exist out there. The coverage is different than other I would just say the insurance policy as a whole too. So you can kind of start to get into a little bit more of the details of insurance. All right, how often are you actually living in the vehicle? What are you doing with the vehicle? Are you at what state are you actually in that it might be registered or domiciled in there too? So there are things that we look at like that. And then a full-timers policy would include other things. It might include a personal liability coverage. It might include some of your things that are in there as a whole too. It might include some element of some medical benefits or medical payments that might be in there as well too. So it is a different coverage. There are different offerings as a whole, but I would say the full-timers is something that we definitely wanted to make sure that we could cover that market, and something we went into eyes wide open to make sure that we could help out that cohort of people too.
So what about nationwide international travel? Can people in any state get Romney insurance, and where does it work? Does it work everywhere?
Yeah. So right now, I would say we're live in about a little over 20 states right now as we speak, and we're rolling that out nationwide at the moment. So it's only a matter of time, and a short time, that we'll be live in all 50 states there. But in about those, I would say kind of 21, 22 states available to purchase. And that's really kind of where the rig is domiciled. If they then start to drive other places, yes, we'll cover them if they were domiciled out of that basis. So yes, it is one that we have to kind of just make sure that we've got the appropriate product first. and that we are able to have that coverage within those states, and then rounding it out and expanding it out beyond there. So have coverage in about I'll say half of the U.S. at the moment, and we'll have
Okay.
the full U.S. from there. To your point about international, that is kind of on the radar as a whole too, for some of the different products that we'll offer as well. Some of the rental period products, so we'll be able to offer that internationally as well too, to Outdoorsy at the moment, and then expanding beyond there. So really, I would say the way that it's simple to look at Romley is that we're kind of in our backyard in the U.S., and then we'll be going global from there as well too.
Great. Great. Any other tips that people ought to know about getting RV insurance?
I would say one of the big things, the big cohort of clients that we have right now is the DIY movement. So the do it yourself movement. What we are finding is that there are a lot of professionally converted camper vans or non professionally converted camper vans that really fit the mold. You might have kind of those Class B camper vans that are going to get upfitted for some sort of purposes, or they'll take them to very reputable shops and get them upfitted to be able to kind of just let's just call it, have a nicer rig on that front. A lot of insurance companies won't actually cover the DIY camper vans as a whole too. And what we found is that that is a very appealing segment for us as well too. So the folks that may be interested or have some of those converted vans and rigs, that's something else that we're able to help out in a pretty big way there too. So I was just going to say that's something else to really be able to kind of keep in mind on that front, because we do offer some, I'll just say, some more cutting edge DIY coverages within the policy. We've expanded certain definitions within the coverage to make sure that we can provide that appropriate insurance for everybody as well too.
That's awesome. We started on the road in a bus conversion, and that was a big challenge for us. And
Right.
ultimately, it's one of the reasons we're not in one today, among many other things. But that's fantastic that you're sort of looking at this industry from a whole, from full timers to people that are in conversions, to people who run a business. For us, I don't even know what you call what we do, but there's these blurred lines between the fact that we're we're traveling and running a business from the road. Our home sort of is our business as we're sharing it with people out there, but it's also our home. And a lot of insurance companies don't know what to do with that, and we hear things like, oh, you can't put logos on your RV because that makes it commercial all of a sudden. And then you go to try to get commercial insurance, and they don't want to give it to you because they say you're not commercial. And there's many hoops that we've found in that process. So it's nice that you're looking at it from all those different aspects.
Yeah, Jason, actually, what you described is a big pain point that not only you're experiencing, that we've actually seen a number of other folks experience as well too. So one of the things that Romley went out to kind of set out on is first thing is we never like to create a product in a silo over here. We want to understand what the customers are experiencing. We want to understand what the pain points are going on in the industry, and then we want to kind of backfill from there. So what you were just describing on the commercial front, we went out and created a commercial product. So that way, in an instance where we have a personalized product that we can offer as well. But whenever you're talking about the blurred lines, wait, is it personal? Is it commercial? Where do I fit right now? Romley effectively has two solutions. And so each client is different, right? We'll ask questions around, all right, how many RVs do you have? Is there any branding or logos on it? How often is it being used? Is it registered in the name of an LLC? So there's a whole host of questions that we'd be able to ask each individual. And then we could sit here and say, hey, you know what? It makes more sense for you to be on our commercial policy. Or this actually works. It makes more sense for you to be on our personalized policy as a whole too. So the creating those products to make sure that we could cover that basis, because there are those blurred lines. We'll get those nuances where, hey, I'm a full-time rock climber. I'm a full-time photographer in my rig. I'm full-time doing kind of running RV miles like you're doing right now as well too. So there's a whole host and different angles that people will take on it. We wanted to make sure that we could cater to that kind of really that the entire industry as a whole too.
Well, it's very exciting that with the incredible growth in the RV industry, that it allows for companies like yours to pop up, because there's so many clients to be had right now. And I think it's really, really exciting. So, Aaron, Ammar, thanks for joining us. Please let us know where we can find Romney and all that information.
Absolutely. So the easiest way to do it is www.romley.com, and you'll have everything right there. States that we're live in, you can bind online right there on the spot, or you got a phone number that you can call in and speak to one of our sales agents, and they'd be able to help you out right away too.
Okay, and we will link to all that right in the description for this episode. Aaron, thanks for joining us.
Jason, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
This episode is supported by ParkWolf, the ultimate app for visiting U.S. national parks. With ParkWolf, you can view upcoming places and amenities as you drive through the park, locate the nearest gas, food, bathrooms, and pullover points. ParkWolf's wildlife maps show you the best times and places to see or avoid wildlife, along with a feed of the latest wildlife sightings and photos from the parks. ParkWolf even makes it possible for you to view your live location and direction on official park maps while staying up to date on current NPS alerts and advisories. ParkWolf keeps working even if you lose service. To learn more, download the ParkWolf app for iPhone free from the Apple App Store today.
We are back.
We are back. And you tried to take my lines from me.
You do this. I know.
I know
Well,
this is.
You were gone You were gone 2 weeks ago.
I was gone 2 weeks
very
ago.
confused.
Okay, calm down.
We're back anyway, and we're going to check the level of our tanks because that's
We
what we do
are.
in this segment of the show. So
Yes.
I guess go ahead and go first since I started this.
Okay. All right. I'm so thrown off. All right. I'm gonna go.
Oh, so we decided we're going to have a mutual black tank.
Oh boy.
We've got a mutual black tank. So
Yeah.
let's just start with that.
Okay. Let's start with our mutual black tank. Should we say it at the same time?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3.
People who drive too fast in the campgrounds. We didn't rehearse that.
We didn't. So good.
I don't get. I mean,
What's going on, people? Why are you driving so fast?
there are kids everywhere here.
Even if there aren't kids everywhere here, there's still humans
And there's dogs
pets, and there's fire hydrants and trees and RVs and all kinds of things everywhere.
Some
Why are you
people,
driving
they
so
act like it's a
fast?
city street and go 25 miles an hour.
Nobody goes 25 on a city street anymore. What city street
Well,
are you driving on?
like a neighborhood street. I'm thinking,
Right.
but it's not that. You should be treating it more like a parking lot and driving very, very slow through it.
This is why we can't have nice things, and this is why campgrounds have like 500 speed bumps in them.
Because of y'all that drive too fast, we all have to drive over speed bumps constantly and shake the heck out of our RVs.
Mhm.
But that seems to be the only way to do it. Please drive slow for the safety of our children. Please drive
Yeah.
slower in campgrounds.
And if you've been calling it a speed hump, I don't know what.
There's
I
a
can't help
difference
you.
between a speed hump and a speed bump.
What is the
Chicago has speed
difference?
humps.
Okay.
Speed bumps are very small and abrupt and tall. They're short. They're maybe a foot
Okay.
long and tall. A speed hump is
It's like a-
preferred. It is a long, gentle hump. It's also
What?
very funny to see on a sign, but it is very much less jarring for your RV to go over.
What was the other name we saw one time that
Oh, I don't
Remember?
remember
And-
what. There was a
Oh.
new name that we had never seen before for one. Maybe
Oh.
somebody will chime in because they have it in their
Yeah,
neck
if,
of the woods.
if you know it as something besides a speed bump or a speed hump, you need to either go over to the RV Miles Facebook group, tag us there and let us know, or if you're watching this on YouTube, just drop a comment down in the description, because I know that there's something out there that had Jason and I laughing so hard, and I cannot remember the name of it. So regardless, though, we don't need any more of those in campgrounds. So please slow down. Just slow down, like 5-10 miles. It's better for everybody here.
All right, what's in your fresh tank this week?
So my fresh tank this week actually goes to you. I'm going to give you my fresh tank this week. For anyone that has been over on our Wondering Family in the last week and a half, you may have noticed I put a post out talking about how I was making some changes, that I was reevaluating not only my role inside our family unit, but also my role at RV Miles, and how for a very, very long time I have felt like a human divided, that I've only been able to give 50%. When I'm with my kids and my family, I'm thinking about work. When I'm at work, I'm feeling guilty because I'm thinking about the kids. At RVE, I kind of had a little bit of a just eye-opening, just I don't want to say epiphany. Something happened there. I was having some conversations with people. I was listening to others talk, and something just happened to me there. And I realized that things were not going well. And I brought this to Jason, and, or actually, I'll be honest, because I should be honest. A week and a half ago, I quit. I quit RV Miles 100%. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing podcasting anymore. I'm not doing anything. I quit. Rather than, and I laid out all the reasons why I was quitting and how I really felt like I needed to be more present at home, that I really owed it to Henry, that I owed it to the kids, that I owed it, that I had been, that was where my heart was at and that's where I needed to be. And I was feeling like I could not continue on this other path. Rather than freaking out, getting angry at me, trying to talk me out of it, or any of the other things, you went, you heard me, you sat with me while I cried, you heard me, you went, you sat down, you created an entire system that pretty much has removed me from most of the day-to-day with RV Miles, and allowed me the opportunity to now become a full-time stay-at-home parent, and also to really devote the time and attention to Henry that he needs and deserves right now. And I just, these last just kind of started recently, and it's some of the happiest days I have had in a really, really long time. So I just wanted to say thank you to you, and also to everyone out there who, when I shared this, was so encouraging and said, absolutely, you should do what you need to do. And these, someone even said, we can be everything, but we can't be everything all at once. So go and do and be the everything that you need to be over here, and then come back to the other thing when you can. And I thought that was like really telling and just like really like stuck with me. And so I'm still going to be here sitting down and doing the podcast. I'm still going to be a part of America's National Parks, but you are going to start to see maybe my role in other areas sort of diminish, and I'm going to start to pull back a little bit, and we're going to start to pull back a little bit into a little bit of the social media curtain into our lives as well. Like, we just feel like that doesn't work for us. We really want to focus more on what can be useful to others in the community. And so I just wanted to say thank you for supporting my need to do that and allowing me to take on this new role, because I know what it's doing for you and what, you had to do in order to make that happen.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize what a rat race the Instagram and the reels and the, like trying to get all the views and all this short form, as our friend Andy put it, this sort of, it's crack content basically.
Yeah.
That's really just constant dopamine. It really, you think you've left the rat race and you've sort of joined a worse one, right?
Yeah.
And
I think too, if it's not your primary form of content creation, like at heart, we are podcasters, we are storytellers, we like to be journalists. Long form writing is something I would really like to get back into. I've had books in my head that I've always wanted to write. Things like that. I think that when as people from the world of theater too, I think we're used to telling stories in long form. And I find the constant need to please whatever audio trend is popular
please
this
the
week.
Algorithm.
Yeah,
It's really what it comes down to. It's not about pleasing people. It's not about making you, the audience, happy. It's about making the algorithm happy, and that's no fun.
Yeah, and I think the smartest thing you can ever do for yourself in a business or as an artist or as a human is recognize what does resonate with you, what doesn't, what you're good at, what you're not good at. And we don't like doing reels in the way that people want to see reels of full-time RVers. Like, we just don't like doing it.
And we like watching them, and we like the folks that do them.
Yeah.
We just don't like.
I just don't like doing them. And so I'd rather, like, not.
It's also the seventh circle of hell in the comments section.
Yes.
Both on TikTok and everywhere on Reels.
Help me. If I referred to this campground we're at, I called it camping.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Hundreds of comments later, I have been reminded that I am not camping. So I was like,
so many comments about
all it is, all this reel is just like, look how beautiful the mountains look in the storm. And it just, I thought, oh, you know what? I'm not showing you my camp. You don't get to see this anymore. Like, I'm over it. Like, it's so weird. So to all of you who are doing it and doing it so well, thank you for doing it so well so that we can go and enjoy it.
We'll still share stuff about our lives. Don't feel like we're going to disappear altogether. But like,
I think it's really going to start to gravitate more towards rvmiles.com and in the newsletter. I'm developing a Thursday newsletter, which is going to become a little bit more about what's going on with us. And I did that, the very first one, just last week. And so I do think that we're going to continue to share, but we're going to start moving it, I think, really back into a little bit more of a long form discussion. And I will get Instagram to like pictures again, if it's the last thing I do. All right. What's in your fresh tank this week?
My fresh tank this week is the Utah weather we have been experiencing for 2 weeks. It is, it's wild, this fall weather up in the mountains here. We have every day going from like 82 to 85 degrees down to the 40s, even the 30s overnight, and thunderstorms that roll in for 15 minutes and they're gone. We've probably seen 7 rainbows.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like, lots and lots of rainbows. It's wonderful. The leaves are starting to change. There have been these huge wind gusts, and then it goes away and it's calm. It's just a lot of fun to watch the big clouds rolling in and see the sun peek through big giant clouds, and again, rainbows.
Yeah, lots of rainbows, double rainbows. Yeah,
all the way
yeah.
across the sky.
So intense.
All right, that's it for this week's episode of the RV Miles podcast.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much for joining us each and every week. If you're watching this on YouTube, would you do us a favor and just hit that like button, or even a bigger favor, and share it over on your other social media platforms? If you are listening, of course, a 5-star review over on Apple Podcast helps put us in front of a whole new generation of listeners. And if you would like to chat with Jason and I, head over to the RV Miles Facebook group, give us a tag, and we would love to talk to you. And of course, if you do want to keep up on what's going on with us, if you want to kind of join in a more personal narrative, one of the best ways to do that is to join our newsletter, our mailing list. And you can do so at rvmiles.com/mailing list, or there will be a link in the description for both the YouTube and audio versions of this show. All right. Well, happy fall, y'all. Stay safe, enjoy your camping off season, and keep logging those RV miles.
Bye, everybody.